What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Skilled Apple. We're playing some more No Man's Sky, and hello Rosanna. Get a hinge, and yeah, it's definitely gotten a lot better, dude. I really enjoyed the new update. The graphics are good. I mean, everything is good. Everything is good. It's crazy, almost how much I like playing the new update because like I look forward to playing No Man's Sky again, and that is pretty crazy. There's no sound. Do you guys not hear me? Hello? If you can hear me, just say tits. Because someone said there's no sound. But if there is sound, what's up, Xbox Blank? Nathan, let's get into it. Continuing on our survival. Was there no sound from the video I was playing, maybe? Everything is awesome. That's right. That's right. What's up, Shadow? Yeah, we only have 8 people. I know. No need to rub it in. But it's all good, man. Honestly, I've been really enjoying, like, I was gonna play, I'm not even kidding, I was gonna play Wildlands, and I played Wildlands for like 5 minutes. No, I played for like 15 minutes last night. I couldn't stop thinking, like, I just want to play No Man's Sky. I just want to play No Man's Sky. And it was crazy, because I haven't felt that in like 7 months, okay? So, so far, so good. I need to plug in my controller so it doesn't die on me. Look at, I put more stuff on my freaking thing. By the way, hey, what up, Jixon? Thank you for the retweet on Twitter, Mobus Bloom. And let's go. So, yesterday, as a little recap, if you weren't here yesterday, they actually have a log now, which is pretty nice. But we're supposed to be making warp cells. We actually did get the everything we needed, blueprint-wise. So we'll be trying to make warp cells and hyperdrives, obviously, this stream. So we're going to want to do that. I want to travel at least 3 more times to 3 different systems. This planet's going to be a while. It's a pretty hot planet, so it's going to be a little difficult, sadly. But yeah, last stream we got our ship. We got a lot of discoveries and stuff. And I forgot to rename these things, so let's just go ahead and fix that. We're going to call this the Mobastar. Mobastar system. Ah, I love it. And see, I already named something off Shadow yesterday, and this is a really hot planet. So what should we name the really hot planet? You guys decide and let me know. Are you playing this in preparation of Mass Effect Andromeda? No, I'm not, but I mean, that's a good reason to do anything, really. Andromeda looks so good. The multiplayer just looks so good, and it's weird to say that about Mass Effect. Like, really? Okay, so we don't want to waste our plutonium. We're gonna go ahead. How are we doing on life support? We need Thamium 9. Okay. We're going to go ahead and look for Thamium 9. We need Thamium 9. We also need plutonium. Ooh. Not looking too hot. All right, let's try to... We're going to go ahead and head to this over here. March break. Oh, you mean spring break? You're doing right. You're darn right, mob. Oh yeah, Sploom Prime. Oh my god. You trying to say you're hot? Are you hot? What up, Savage Dragoon? Yeah, let's name this Maba Prime because it only makes sense that the Maba system would have Maba Prime, right? And it's hot as hell, so like, you know. Wait. Yeah, I was gonna put Mama Prime, but then I didn't. Should have, but it's too late. I've already typed it. Oh, no space. Space makes it look stupid. There we go. What up, Carlos? How you doing, man? I nutted at MEA launch trailer that was released today like 3 times. Yeah, dude. I don't know. People are, on a few forums I go on, people are like, oh, it's gonna be bad, and I'm just like, why is everyone such a naysayer, dude? Like, Mass Effect hasn't let us down yet. My opinion, yeah, Mass Effect 3's ending was bad, but it's like, really, we're gonna penalize an entire game because of that? How do you like the update? I really, really like the update, and I'm doing good. Cole, how you doing, man? Alright, so we found some plutonium, good. We still do need Thamium 9, so as soon as our scanner comes back on, we'll have to see if we can find anything with this. There's usually not Thamium 9 inside caves, so we'll scan in here. but we should get out when we... Alright, unlucky for us, there was no Thamian 9. We might... Yeah, we're gonna go back to our ship, and what we're gonna do is... We have the plutonium to lift off, so... Yeah, they did, yeah, and they eventually did fix the endings. I kind of liked the DLC. Hey, what up, Carry On? The DLC endings. And they were free, like, you have no reason, you know? I don't know. At first, I'll admit, I was salty, too, about the endings. But, like, once they fixed it, I'm like, alright, there you go. You fixed it, we're good. You know what I mean? Okay, so we are going to die. We're out of Thamian 9. Not good for business. Oh shit, I should have used the signal booster in hindsight. Okay, so we have a drop pod and a habitable base. I do remember the drop pod being next to nothing, but we're gonna go ahead and go there anyways. So I'll use that upgrade, and then we'll look for it there. I think you can find that in rocks in space. I think they changed the way it works now, Nathan. They actually drop iron in space now and not Thamian. Like, you still find Thamian now, it's just a lot more rare. What's up, Moonlight? You low-key thought about buying this game? I imagine it's on mad sale. Like, I imagine it's pretty cheap. The endings did not ruin other none. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, did the endings kind of... the endings let me down, right? They did. Like, let's be honest. The whole trilogy was great. Mass Effect 2 in specific was literally Jesus, okay? Like, all right, I'm just saying. But the endings... I mean, they were bad, but it doesn't... You know, you can't fault, like, hundreds and hundreds an hour of gameplay just because of one ending, right? I confess the game I'm enjoying the most at the moment is Zelda Breath of the Wild. Unfortunately, I don't have a Switch. Otherwise, I'd be all up in that because that game looks amazing. Question mark over there. All right, let's go over there. I forgot that you could scan with the ship. I actually forgot you could do that. Oh, that's awesome, Nun. Zelda's legit. Yeah, this new one looks really, really good. Okay, but what is this? It's like a... I'm not sure what this is, but it looks like there's a mine here, so... When will we be playing For Honor next? I don't know. Save this. You guys know how I am. I like to switch it up a little bit, and then I kind of like stick to it for a while. I want to get, honestly, I want to see how far I can get without dying on survival mode, because the first time I played this, I got wrecked. Okay, Thamian 9, please, please, please. Plutonium. Yeah. Do you have Thamian 9 for sale? Please tell me you have Thamian 9 for sale. Only 25. Oh, only 42 rather. That'll do. Oh, and there's suspension fluid if we need to... Oh, I can't buy that, though. It won't let me. Interesting. Let's see. Oh, I don't have space for it. Let me sell that dagger. Get a little burned out on For Honor. Honestly, it was the lack of balance that really made me want to stop playing For Honor. And I'm not talking crap about the game. I'm just saying, like, the balance just isn't there for me, and that really ruined my entire experience. Play a permadeath playthrough. If I can get to the center of the galaxy on survival mode with only a few deaths, I will. I didn't think I'd get this far without dying, so I'm really proud of myself, to be honest. Okay, hold on. Let me buy that power canister. I have a lot of gems, or not gems, units. So I can afford to waste a few. Now we can use that on our life support instead of using our Thamian 9. And we need, okay, so we need to make a warp cell. Transfer that to our ship. Okay, so yeah, we need to make a warp cell, and these damn nanite clusters, man, they need to stop. What's going on, Moses? Yeah, it did for you as well. That's what I'm saying, exactly. Kind of want one more power gel. Yeah, we'll take one more of these. And then... I think it's actually easy to build suspension fluid. Let me check that. Because I don't want to waste money if I don't have to. Carbon, yeah. 50? Yeah, okay, wow. Let's not waste money at all then. Yeah, we can get carbon essentially everywhere. Oh. We could get that plutonium. No, we're gonna bounce out. We're gonna go to the suit upgrade at the drop pod. I think that's what we want to do next. And I just burned my launch thruster, unfortunately, but we do have enough plutonium to reload that. So let's go to the drop pod. Really, you never played Zelda? That's crazy. You're gonna try permadeath? If I can do well in survival mode, yes. But remember, I actually haven't even been in a space battle yet. That's where I think I would die. Honestly, I feel like that is exactly where I would die. How much is this? 10,000 worth. So now we have our upgrade. I should probably stay in there and... Yeah, I'm gonna stay in here for a second, let my shield recharge quicker. What's going on, Keith? How you doing, man? So, we do need zinc for the electron vapor. Or no, not the electron vapor, the warp cell? Oh, I thought we needed zinc for something. Antimatter? Yeah, we need it for the antimatter. So we have the iridium. We have the plutonium. We do not have carbon or the zinc. I don't know if I scanned those yet. Thamium 9. And treasures. We're gonna go for the Thamium 9. I wonder if at night the planet becomes cooler and it doesn't take as much. It's almost your birthday. Hell yeah, dude. How old you gonna be, Matt? Okay, I wasn't paying attention. I lost track of where I was. So I have to wait for my scanner to come back. I totally forgot where I was going. Shit. I feel like it's probably right next to me and I have no idea. Well, while we're wasting time, let's scan some stuff. Get a few points. Oh, I didn't even see this dude. Are you aggressive? Calm. Oh, there it is. Huh. Scan this tree real quick. I know there was more than just that one. Huh. Oh, that's a lot more. We are running out of shield. That's okay. Need to get rid of one of these anyways. Nah, yeah, I'm doing good, Keith. You're gonna be 29? I thought you were like 22, Matt. What? Matt's an old guy. I never knew that, but now I do. You got this Thamium. Hell yeah, all sorts of it. Oh yeah, definitely a good find right here. Definitely a good find. It won't let me scan that one. Alright. Make our way back to the ship. That way we don't have to waste another shielding shard. You're going to be 36 on Sunday? Wow, Maba. You're another old person I thought was young. Y'all are old! I love you, Maba Spoon. I'm sorry. Everyone thinks you're early 20s. You look like it. Smooth. All right. So. We can use that power gel now. I might buy the other two in this place before we take. Actually, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get out of this and get those before I go. Because those things are nice. Oh wait, we're at the drop pod. Son of a gun. I thought we were still at the other one. Okay, so we can. Oh, we didn't even get enough carbon. Gosh, we are so bad. Looking for carbon real quick. Oh, whatever. Let's just take off. There'll definitely be carbon wherever we go next. So, fortunately, we got to fill this up. Go to the manufacturing facility. I believe that's where we came from, though. That's the habitable base. Let's go this way and just keep scanning and see if we can find something else. There we go. The trick is to grow old but never grow up. Exactly. Now, what is this? Plutonium nearby it. I only see plutonium. Yeah, there should be enough plutonium to let me lift off again, though. So, I mean, it wouldn't be a horrible idea, I guess. Let's see what's here. Alright. We're gonna do that as soon as I figure out where the hell I am. Okay, there we go. Well, yeah, when you do crazy crap, that's how we not land. Okay, we landed a little far from it, but whatever. I know we didn't. Nothing. It's just like this is a waste of time. That's what you did. Alright, take this stuff. Well, they sort of introduced a multiplayer mode with this new update, Nathan. I mean, it's not like, oh, we can battle or meet halfway, but they're slowly rolling it out because you can actually run into people's bases and have races and stuff, and not with each other, of course. You can't race with each other, but it's definitely a step in the right direction, in my opinion, so. They call it the waste because it's literally a waste of my time. I like that. You know, hindsight's 20/20, but it was a bad idea. Oh yeah, thank God there was a lot of plutonium here. Oh, this might not be enough plutonium. That would be bad for business. Wow. Okay. We might have enough plutonium, but we're pushing it. I think the next place we land would need to be near a mine, so we can make sure we get plutonium to stock up for our vehicle. Never had G Fuel? Huh. I like it. You guys knew that. Alright. We need to find like a trading base or something, I think. Yeah, we're just flying away now. Caffeine overdose. I often worry about it when I drink like a lot of G Fuel, because like G Fuel's not like coffee. Like coffee, you drink a lot of it, you know it, because it's like, oh, my body's telling me to stop. And G Fuel, you don't. You don't feel it. You're just like, I gotta drink it all, boy. I'm putting all the G Fuel. Ah! And then you start turning your fucking ship upside down and shit, doing crazy shit, but it's okay because you're auto gliding and you don't realize because all that G Fuel, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. Jason is low-key putting the CEO of G Fuel's kids through college with the amount he buys. I mean, I don't drink nearly as much as I used to. I did cut back a little bit. I only drink like 1 or 2 glasses of it now. I agree, Geek. That's what I'm saying. It's like, I'm just glad that they're actually adding shit like they said they would, instead of just giving up. Because they could have easily given up, right? Alright, so we need to find plutonium. Oh, maybe I should not have landed. Nope, okay, thank God. Yeah, make sure there's plutonium nearby. I mean, we need that upgrade, but we don't need to be stranded, so I'm gonna keep an eye out for plutonium. I don't see any plutonium nearby. I don't see a cave either. That's a really small cave. I wouldn't count that. Sorry, I'm ignoring chat right now. I'm just looking for plutonium. Yeah, we might have to skip on this. Yeah, we're gonna have to skip on that one for now. Because I don't see any plutonium or mines nearby. Disc Jam from PS4 is fun. I've never even heard of Disc Jam. What is that? Spring break! Another drop pod. Drop pods are everywhere on this planet, apparently. If we can't see any... There's a cave nearby, that'd be fantastic. Once again, I don't see anything. I can't tell if that's a cave or not. Yeah, they look like shallow caves. Is that plutonium? No, that was a nice tree. What up, Artemis? Okay, yeah. No luck. Try a different one. This planet really does not have a lot of plutonium. I'm realizing this now. Hey, no. What's up, Hulk? Sorry, Mr. Comet. What's up, man? I want to get a Land Rover. Imagine a Land Rover on this planet. Does G Fuel feel kind of like pre-workout? Yeah. Yeah, that's actually, yeah. Alright, let's go to the habitable base, actually. We're gonna move our base to this planet, so instead of lit as fuck, we're gonna use Mama Prime. Just because I kind of need a home base on this planet. And usually there's good resources near habitable bases. It's free this month in the PlayStation Store. I might have to check it out, man. Alright, let's go up here real quick, get there a little quicker. There we go. Look at the time just drop. Titanfall 2. I never got Titanfall 2. I didn't really enjoy the tech test. I mean, it looks like it was a good game. It's just I didn't enjoy the tech test, so I didn't pick it up. Alright, let's hope there's plutonium nearby, because we ain't getting off until we get more. Hey, Emperor. Wow, this is like a barren wasteland. Dammy 9. Ah, shit. No plutonium. Well, I think at nighttime the temperature decreases, I hope. That's like my prevailing hope. Yes, I want to transfer. Now, can you make multiple bases in the same planet? Yeah, what up, Star? Alright, rename base. Apple core. See what the blueprint trader has. Exactly, this guy, exactly. Show me your blueprints. I can't actually make any of this shit, so I don't know. A small wedge, I can make that. Haha! That was a nip. Okay, so we should have enough. Okay. Thank you. So we got a beacon now. I should have read that stuff, but I didn't. The beacon, we need 1 Voltic cell and 2 beads. How do you make a Voltic cell? I believe I can't. I don't think I have that. Definitely don't. Okay. Pizza. Y'all talking about pizza make me hungry and shit. Y'all know how I feel about that. I need Spidonium. Now, Spidonium is... I can't... Okay. Yeah, Spidonium, you actually have to go find a planet with it, so... It says desert climate. We could be lucky enough to be on such a planet, but probably not. I mean, it is a hot planet. Alright, it's actually a lot better at night, only 38 degrees. Alright, before we go jump into our death, I'm gonna some platinum. Platinum grows on plants, guys, remember that. Alright, got that. I pull up my gun and it starts running. They know too much. Yeah, I've never eaten curry. Still. I will eventually. Made peace. Hey, there you go, Dizka. Are you streaming all day? No, I do have plans tonight, and so I can't stream all day. I'll be streaming for a few hours, most likely. Chicken wings, extra spicy. Now that I can get with. Dead tree. I was kind of hoping there was like a secret cave I didn't see. A lot of detrium, so I'm assuming there's no spidonium or whatever. What do you mean you never had curry? Like, I've legitimately never had curry. What up, Lit? How you doing? Like, I don't know what you want from me. Hey, Scarce. Nice to see you again, man. It's been a while. A single Thammy 9 plant. Let's go. Yeah. I mean, you could always eat dinner at your PS4. I don't like eating pizza or french fries when I'm playing video games just because, like, it gets my controller greasy. And I fucking hate that. I don't know what it is. I hate when my controller is greasy. Like, oh my god, you have no idea. Antrium. Can't remember what you need antrium for, but I think it's, like, a very generic ingredient. So we're gonna get that. Might as well explore this tunnel. Maybe we'll be lucky enough to find some plutonium in it. But then maybe not. Do you change the gear class? I'm liking it a bit more. It updated. How do you change the gear class? I'm not sure what you mean. Greasy controllers the word. I agree. Every time you start streaming, I'm sleeping. You never had curry? That's what I'm saying. See, it's not uncommon to not have ever had curry. It just sounds expensive. I heard it's really spicy, though. I really want it because I love spicy food. You have no idea. A vault cell? Is that what you need spodonium for? Or not spodonium, but this stuff? I do need to get a vault cell. I'm just getting this atrium because... Oh, yeah. Shit, I need carbon also. Need to reload our mining beam. Are you carbon? There's probably not going to be any carbon in a cave. After using my brain for about 17 seconds, I figured this out. Plutonium anywhere. Purple shit. There's different kinds of varying spice. Oh, that's pretty cool. Hurry with the shot. Oh my god, Sonny. What up, Sonny? How you doing, man? Man, there's like no plutonium in this bitch. At all. I still need carbon, and we should probably head back soon. I mean, the tunnel's a really long tunnel.
Technology recharge.
And this thing is just going and going. And yet, not a single plutonium was found. In the UK, we have curry sauce on chips, and that's mostly a Scottish thing, or fries, I guess, for the US. Oh yeah, I forgot you guys called fries chips. Yeah, I don't know how I'd feel about spice on my fries. I like my fries with cheese, you know, nacho cheese, hell yeah, but I don't know about spice. Oh wait, isn't that shit I need? Oh no, I need spodonium, that's right. I was like, what?
Weapon charge depleted.
Well.
Technology recharge.
Yeah, I keep going through this tunnel hoping I randomly run into hoping I eventually run into plutonium, and we've been running for a while. Nice, Nathan. Day 736. Still looking for plutonium. Chips and gravy from the chippy are the best. What is a chippy? Oh, there it is. End of the road. Dammy 9, Dammy 9, Dammy 9. We can get out there. We can. Zinc. I see zinc. We should need to get out. Damn, I wish I had the grenade upgrade by now. Poutine. What are these words y'all are saying? Saw my first bipedal sentinel today. Thought they didn't exist. I remember doing that before. I used to get myself to 5 stars in this game, and it would always like glitch, and like you'd get there and it would never stop. You'd kill the bipedal, and then it would literally just stop. Like you'd have the music going, you could do whatever you wanted, you could pick up all the gravitino balls you want, and they will not come back if you do it. And it's so weird. I don't know if they fixed that glitch, but I assume it's a glitch. I don't think that was the plan.
Life support power low.
Man, where's the exit? I really wish I had the grenade upgrade. You guys have no idea. I don't think you guys have any sort of idea. You know, Amsterdam, right up close. That's pretty cool, Nathan. Shit, I don't know which way. Let's go this way. I'm running out of my life support so quickly, I don't know why.
Recharge.
Gravy on chips. Now, I'll tell you what's really good with fries, though. The Wendy's Frosty. Then you put that fucking... Ah, I ain't even gotta say anymore. I ain't even gotta say anymore. You know the rest. Lit, what country are you from? I always felt like... I don't know. I always felt like you were American. Probably because firearms. I don't know. I just felt it. I think this is where we came in from, actually. Well, we found the exit. And a single Thamian 9. It's all the purples.
Thermal protection falling.
Huh, this is probably not where I came in from now I think about it. Zinc! Oh, shit. Almost walked right past it. Glad I decided to take a gander. That guy on the mountain. Oh, nice. Sort of nice.
Falling.
That's a giant cave we were in. Is this the same cave again? Damn, this cave just is huge, dude.
Temperature levels stabilizing.
Come on, skill, just die. Negative, Ghost Rider. Can't die today. I don't even know why I'm checking this cave. I already know that there's not going to be what I need. Like, this planet is so scarce on plutonium, it's crazy. I might go to a different planet, actually. But to do that, I need plutonium to lift off. So this is a very big catch-22 we're in.
Temperature levels stabilizing.
Man.
Life support power low.
Oh, fuck.
Technology recharge.
Yeah, let's get out of this giant cave system that's just wasting all my time, because there has not been a single plutonium in it. What's going on, Raining Ravens? How you doing, brother? But yeah, not a single plutonium to be found.
Thermal protection falling.
Son of a... Okay, let's go recharge our shield inside our base.
Temperature levels stabilizing.
I don't think it works yet. No, it doesn't. Wait, can you put stuff in this? Or is it... Because now, hold on a second. Okay, no, you can't. I was like, hold on a second. That would be nice. I'm impressed that you're still playing this game. They just came out with an update, so I wanted to give it a try. I used to love No Man's Sky back when it first came out, so... Even though I love to talk poop about it, it's still one of my, I won't say favorite, but it's still one of the better games I like. Hey, is that a retweet from the Literary Firearms? Thank you. Come on, where is the plutonium?
Thermal protection falling.
insane. Might as well scout for a second before we head back in. What is my favorite game? Final Fantasy X. Wow. There is no plutonium, brother. How are we gonna get off this rock?
Thermal protection falling.
This is bad. Yeah, this is pretty bad. I wonder if someone finds your base, can leave you a message. Yeah, so you can use the messaging thingy, and that does work. I know that, and that's pretty cool in my opinion.
Temperature levels stabilizing.
Yeah, the communication system right here. Do I know the game Destiny? Yeah, I played it. Alright. We need to find a damn outpost or something. Manufacturing facility. Okay, I kind of want one that won't get me killed. Planet has become poison. I know. This planet has gotten me killed, basically. Because we cannot find what we need to find. Fuck. Alright. Let's think about this. Do I have plutonium? I don't think I have enough. I don't.
Technology recharge. Technology
Yeah, I definitely don't.
recharge.
Fuck. Think take anything else? No, only plutonium.
Technology recharge.
Alright, let's go this direction. I don't think we went this. Oh god, ran out. That was bad. Alright, we haven't gone this direction, I don't think yet. So we're just gonna have to kind of play. Ooh, a little different.
Levels stabilizing.
Damien 9, Damien 9, Damien 9. No luck on plutonium still. We'll go take that Damien 9 that'll keep us alive on our journey to find plutonium. But hey, what's going on, Wes? You can have more. Can you have more than one base? I'm actually not sure. Now, I don't know, because I was thinking about it. I don't know if you can have more than one base as long as it's on the same planet or not, but that is definitely a good question. I tend to figure that out at some point. I want to say yeah. I mean, that'd be really cool. I mean, especially with the new car update, you could like drive between your bases. My stream is popping enough to get trolls today. Hey! With 27 viewers, man, I take that. I take it.
Thermal protection falling.
And If you just hitch a ride, dude. There's plenty of plutonium. I wish I had a planet with plenty of plutonium.
Temperature levels stabilizing. Temperature levels stabilizing.
Get that carbon while we're here. That way we can reload our gun as well as create the thing we need to. What game did you really hate? Basically anything made by Ubisoft. Doing this carbon. Typical time killer.
Technology recharge.
By the way, guys, if you're just joining me, or joining us rather, welcome to the stream. Thank you guys for being here. We're playing a little No Man's Sky. It's episode 2. On the first episode, we actually somehow didn't die, which was pretty cool. In survival mode, so we're on our second planet in sort of a bad situation, but you know, we'll manage. Whatever. We'll manage. Now we have the suspension fluid. We need... Well, fuck you. Alright, so we need plutonium again.
Technology recharge.
Do I have antium in my thing? Yeah, I do. So let's transfer that out.
Technology recharge.
We're not using our zinc on that. Man, this recharges a lot slower here. My shield, that is.
Thermal protection falling.
That dang glowing red gets me every time, man. Thamine 9. I want the Thamine 9, but we can't be backtracking right now.
Thermal protection falling.
I think it's time to die. No, it is not time to die. We can't die yet. We have so much to live for. Lava Prime is a cruel woman. Yeah, once I get plutonium, we're off this rock. We're gonna try a different one. Just the problem of finding the dang plutonium, and then we have to hike all the way back. You miss the old Evolve days? Absolutely, I do. But it's just dead. I actually get sad when I look at like concurrent numbers and how it's. You know, in my opinion, if it would have came to PS4 and Xbox One as a free-to-play game like that, it would have done so well, man. It would have done so well. What a good game, just let dead because of 2K. It wasn't Turtle Rock, it was 2K, but money is money, and they weren't making it, so I get it.
Temperature levels stabilizing. Temperature levels stabilizing.
No, it was before the update. You could get, I think you get plutonium in the new update in the rocks, or not. Wait, what rocks? Like the space rocks? What are you talking about? What is the end of the game? It doesn't make sense to me. I don't quite understand the question. Like, what happens at the end? You, basically, it restarts. I mean, spoiler alert. It's not really an ending game, so I don't really feel like that's a spoiler. Yeah, it's mostly a sandbox game. That's why it's not for everyone. I mean, 9 all over the place over there. Think over here. Try to get y'all. Really gotta stop doing that. That plutonium? Dang red flowers looking exactly like plutonium from a distance. Another cave. Will this one have better luck? Probably not. Yeah, we're not doing it. We're not doing it again. Hey, what's up, Alfred? Yeah, I agree. Like, I don't know why they decided not to implement the pay to win. It wasn't even pay to win. I mean, like, the pay transactions for the cosmetics that were not pay to win. But they didn't, and I don't know why. They waited until a week before the game eventually shut down. Like, what the heck? Alpha, but it's calm. Okay. More Thamia 9. Think over there. Is there no plutonium on this damn planet? I found the only planet in the universe without plutonium. Oh! That's what I'm talking about. Now that's what I call plutonium. Okay, we're gonna die now. So, yeah, but we found plutonium, so it's not all bad. But we did find some. Unfortunately, it's not enough. We gotta wait for our scanner to redo. And then we can see if there's more plutonium around here. Is there nothing I can hide under? Crap. Alright, let's go over here. Get into the shade. Oh, come on. Plutonium is over there. We're gonna keep it here. We're gonna let our shield recharge, but we're going straight to that plutonium when we can. But yeah, what's up, Tullus? Imagine if there's a planet where the aliens are made of weed. I imagined it. There it is. And yeah, like, I don't think that's too much, you know? By the way, guys, if you haven't already, make sure to hit that like button. As you can see right up there, we got 26 likes and 30 viewers. Let's try to get to 30 likes by the end of this shield regeneration. Sorry it happens like this. I gotta use the bathroom, guys, so I'll be right back. That gives me time to regenerate the shield anyway, so. Win-win! I shouldn't be more in a minute. I love you. Alright, I'm back. Put my headset in. Hey, we got 30 likes. 32 likes. Thank you guys so much for that. Our shield's almost done recharging. Damn, went to the bathroom and back and it's still not done. Huh. I'm not a stoner, I just smoke a lot. Pretty sure that's what alcoholics say about alcohol. All right. So let's. Okay. Look at that plutonium. See, there's more plutonium over here. Thamium 9 out the wazoo. We're gonna get that Thamium 9.
Thermal protection falling.
And I think we should start heading back. I don't know how much we have. We have 122 plutonium. That enough? It is.
Recharge.
So we're gonna start heading back then. Oh, we're married. I think we found like the only spot on the planet with plutonium, so maybe we should take our time here just in case.
Thermal protection falling.
Oh, you gotta go, Carry On. Oh, see you later. Thank you so much for being here, Carry On, my wayward nun. I love your face, and I'll see you later. I wasn't done reading the wall text. Oh my god. Nah, man. It was like that was like my BRB screen, and I didn't really have any assets on my computer, so I'm like, I'll just make a giant wall of text for them to read. Man, this is gonna be a long, long journey.
Life support power low. Thermal protection falling.
More zinc. Let's go get that zinc, and we'll use it to recharge our thermal protection. Are the graphics on the PS4 with the update really good? On the PS4 Pro, yeah, they're really good. Like, it's a world of difference. Like, it's crazy.
Technology recharge.
I really needed that zinc. I shouldn't have done that, but I don't know, desperate times. How far did we go from our ship? Damn, 5 minutes away. Give ourselves quite the hike to go back.
Thermal protection falling.
Thermal protection falling. You paused the video on the wall of text? Did you get to the end? I don't even remember what I put there, to be honest. Yeah, alright, we need that zinc. I can't in all good.
Thermal protection falling.
In all good conscience, leave these behind. Oh, that's a lot of Thamium 9. Holy shit. Oh, I only need iron for those? What am I doing with my life?
Thermal protection falling.
Take these and go in that cave and see if there might be iron in that cave, which would be good for business, obviously. Get Thamium 9 though. Yeah, I never been about leaving Sammy 9 behind.
Temperature levels stabilizing.
Gran Turismo Sport. I've never been into Gran Turismo. I've always been a Forza person, and I guess as a PlayStation player, I can't play Forza anymore. Well, I could. It's on PC now, but what I'm saying is, like, I just felt like Forza is so much better of a racing simulator than Gran Turismo. I bet you like Wincest too. What is Wincest? But yeah, I really Supernatural's pretty good. You have a shitty planet? I know. Planet sucks. Planet sucks.
Technology recharge.
We'll make a better planet with hookers and blackjack. Increase the mining speed slightly. Not sure if that's worth cost.
Product constructed.
There, now we have that, which will help. We're just gonna let it fill up naturally, though. Later, this guy. Have a good one, man. Hey, cool gamer, how you doing? I got into the Sea of Thieves technical test last weekend, but didn't have a chance to actually play it. Really? I'm still trying to remember what that is. Oh, that's the pirate game you were talking about, right? This is a stoner game. It's just chill, bro. It's chill. I mean, you don't have to be a stoner to enjoy it, but I mean, if that's how you want to do it, then do it. When somebody says you suck, say you swallow. Good man right there. He's thinking ahead. He's using his brain, I'll tell you what. Treasure. I think that was platinum, which we need for our shield shards. We're going to go ahead and go for that platinum.
Thermal protection falling. Inventory full.
Fuck. Abba Prime, why are you so cruel to me?
Temperature levels stabilizing.
Alright. What the hell is this thing? I want to keep the bypass chip. Do I have any Thiamine 9 in here? I do not. Let's move the plutonium over. Then we can actually pick up stuff. We don't need this carbon.
Technology
We'll
recharge.
make that space. We're gonna go back to those treasures. I forgot where there they are. We're gonna let our shield recharge a little bit though. What's the plot of the game? It's honestly just a sandbox game, so you know. You guys remember 2008? I don't remember shit. I remember Fergalicious saying, "I'm so 2008 and you're so 2000 and late." Does that count?
Thermal protection falling.
I'm clearly under this rock. Like, how are we still burning to death?
Temperature levels stabilizing.
Guess the game heard me. And after we got a power canister out of that. Good deal. Fascination bead. I don't want to know what we do with that. Minecraft in space. Pretty much, except, yeah. Oh yeah, pretty much.
Levels stabilizing.
Or platinum. Platinum everywhere. One time for my LA sisters. Okay. Bam!
Technology recharge.
And this will be used, obviously, to make more shield shards, which will keep us from dying from the heat. So that's good. What's up, Moneymaker? How you doing, man? I was gonna say Monkey Maker. I thought that's what your name said at first. Mob Primer isn't cruel. Mob Prime is, or Skilled Apple, it is savage, like you. It is. It's like, oh, you want it? Well, no. How about that? And we're like, oh, okay, then.
Technology recharge.
These shields should help us a little longer.
Thermal protection falling.
This planet sucks. No offense, Mobs Bloom. This game any good now, or is it still shit? It's very difficult, and I like it. They've upgraded a lot. They made a lot of good changes for it, graphically and gameplay-wise. So I'd say it's good now, or it's better.
Thermal protection falling.
We're almost there, guys. Wait a minute. That's carbon. I thought that was stamina 9 I was walking over. Oh, wow. This is where we were, because we can't pick that up, which means we already have.
Falling.
That's interesting. I don't think I'm going to redo my shield yet. I think we can actually make it there without taking too much damage. I think it's going to go at 2087. See you guys in like 7-ish years. All right, see you, Artemis.
Thermal protection offline.
Oh my God, Mobus Bloom, you're so savage. Why you gotta be that way?
Technology recharge.
We are fucking out of this planet, boy. We need a planet that has blackjack and hookers. That's what we need. Okay, why are you not letting me scan that planet? I did press L3 to scan. Samarium, aluminum, nickel, and iridium. What we got going on here? Samarium, gold, nickel, and iridium. I don't know, let's go to the space station. See if we can't get something out of the vendors. This game is sucky. That's an opinion, man. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I disagree. Unholy union of Mobus Bloom and Madamus Prime. Oh my God, literary. It all makes so much sense. Uh-oh, pirates coming. Go, 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 go! I ain't got time for pirates. Nope, 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 nope. Hurry up. Hurry up. Okay, we made it. We're safe. Wow, our pirate timer was like 1 second left. That would have been very bad business. There was no plutonium or that. I have to go see you. See you later, Nathan. Have a good one. I love how Verizon's always telling me I need to pay my bill. It's like, hey, your bill's due in like fucking like 3 weeks, bro. You want to pay it or not? Like, cause that shit, I mean, it's 3 weeks from now and you're gonna be late. And I'm like, okay, Verizon, damn.
Inventory full.
Maybe I have some shit to sell. After 5 months being trapped on Maba Prime, I finally made it back to the space station. Oh, that's the thing. Yeah, I don't know.
Units received. Units received.
Right, 100k units, baby. We're gonna keep the Antrium. We don't need this.
Units received.
Apparently, I just got 2 achievements at once. I'm feeling it. See if we have anything here we can get. Trade nanite clusters for blueprints. Nothing. Man, fudge you, bro. I don't even like your face. Good armor. Ignition. I wish I could. Builder. Let's see what they have for sale. Maybe I'll get lucky and just have a warp drive just chilling there. Yeah, I won't. We're buying all this plutonium. I don't care if it's overpriced. Only 33 units. I'll take it. What's this for? Okay. Now, let's take... Might as well fill it up. Did I make it? I did? Yeah, I made it. Alright, cool. So let's see what we need. So we need... That's not right. We need electron vapor. We need... Alright, so yeah, that's what we need is plutonium. We need plutonium, a lot of it. We need to find a planet that is just literally loaded with plutonium. Obviously, Maba Prime wasn't the deal there, so we need to figure out a planet with plutonium. Now, I don't think plutonium is any planet's primary resource, so we have to kind of get lucky and look. And hopefully not get bombarded by aliens, or pirates, rather. Then I had to leave. Oh, that sucks, cool gamer. Oh, wait a minute. The pirates are still coming?
Hostile scan detected.
No. No. No, no, no. Not today. Not in this neighborhood. I don't have the guns for this shit. Okay, let's assume that just because I did that doesn't mean I get out of this, so. Alright, we have that full. Our shield. What do we charge it with? Oxide elements, of course, but. Now, does that mean I can use shielding shards? It does. Let's just assume we're gonna need these.
Product constructed. Product constructed.
We're gonna make 5 of them.
Product constructed.
Yeah, I feel safer already. Damage potential is literally nothing, so that's good. Alright. Hope for the best and expect the worst. I'm not ready for this. Okay, so I think the pirates are actually gone. Which, okay. Might as well check this planet out, I guess, as gold, nickel, Miriam. I wanted to see if I could find a Spidonium planet. Might as well 2 birds with 1 stone, you know? But no such luck, it looks like. And that is Maba Prime. We ain't fucking with it. I know there's 4 planets. There you are, chilling behind that one. Aluminum, iridium, and heridium. Okay, that only has 3. Let's go that way. Well, 1 minute away, we could actually get intercepted by pirates at that distance, but that's... I think we'll be fine. I think we can make it. So far, so good. Seconds out, still no pirates on the radar. true, Maba. It's true. Sometimes you gotta let you know. Sometimes you gotta let people know. That's just the way it is. Oh, it's a nice looking planet. It's got green. Oh, nope, now it changed. Yeah, it's definitely not green. This looks like a barren planet, which might be good. Barren planets usually have a shitload of rocks. I'm hoping it is a barren planet, but I think I need to... No, damn it, there's trees, which means there's fucking animals. Probably. Plutonium shard right off the rip. That's a good sign. Shoot, I'm so close to landing right there and being like, hello? Yeah, we're doing it. Sentinel's hostile, uncommon, free. Okay, so everything wants to kill me. Everything is killing me. This is bad. Well, shit.
Extreme sentinel bad. Shield down.
Oh, get in. Fuck, we're out. Oh, God. This planet's got everything I need. But it wants to kill me. I don't think I can do this planet. I feel like there's a very high chance I die if I stay on this planet. This planet is hostile as fuck.
Units received.
Yeah, we gotta get going. I can't handle that planet. I will literally get fucked up. But I don't know IP. Yeah, I really don't. Alright, make sure we're not going to Mobile 9. Oh, damn, we're going a minute away. Gotta go to this one. Wow, that was a bad zone, guys. I was like, we're gonna die. There it is. Hopefully this planet's not as cruel. But man, there was so much plutonium on that planet. If I had the proper weaponry, I would have stayed. But as you guys saw, I was about to get dunked on. There we go. Now we're going to this planet. It's okay, Adrian. This looks like a harsh planet. But as long as it has plutonium, I don't give a fuck. And hopefully it doesn't want to kill me. We're still in the clouds, damn. Oh yeah, it's definitely a really cold planet, isn't it? Or no, this might be acid rain. Yeah, it is, I bet. Is that snow? Got a ton of carbon. It doesn't. Plutonium stacks. I don't see any plutonium stacks. Okay, one or two right there. But are they just renegade plutonium, or is that like a normal thing? Not quite sure. Manufacturing facility with some plutonium right there. Though I don't know if I want to test that right now. I only have 1 health. So it might not be in my best interest. More plutonium. I'll come back because there's a lot of plutonium here. Okay, yeah, we got a good bit of plutonium. Looks like. Not quite interested in the temple. Alright, yeah, so plutonium is very abundant. Not abundant, but it's here. A lot more than lava prime. I want to find life on this planet that we can dock for free. That's what we're going to try to do. Trading post would be nice or something like that. It's like a drop pod, maybe? No, just one of those wastelands. Hear the wind or the rain hit my windshields. We'd have to use plutonium to lift off. There is no landing pad, but I believe that's intelligent life right there. I don't see any plutonium nearby. I'm gonna go ahead and say not worth the risk. Got anything in our scans? No. I love that rain sound. I gotta be honest with you, it's pretty nice. Sorry for being quiet, I'm just concentrating. Looking for plutonium still. A drop pod with a little bit of plutonium nearby. Only is like 50 or 60. That wouldn't be enough to lift off again. Much as I'd like a drop pod upgrade. I say we play the odds. Fuck it. Let's get that drop pod upgrade. Poison rain, average sentinels. I didn't read the rest of what it said. Alright, let's get our upgrade. Always nice to have more space. Now, got some plutonium up there, some zinc over there, not bad. So we're gonna go ahead to that plutonium, and we're gonna need a lot of it.
Toxic protection. Stabilizing.
Wait for that to recharge quick. No fauna. What is fauna? Fauna is like people, right? Or not people, but things. Like life. Let's put... let's do chocolate rain. Why not? Chocolate rubsy, I like it.
Units received.
Oh wow, that's a lot of plutonium. That's a good deal. It might be enough. I see plutonium in the distance. Nice. Alright, so the gamble paid off. Is there any more nearby before we go? Digging it. I'm digging it.
Toxic protection falling.
Power canister, always nice. Plutonium. Oh yeah, look, we're even getting a language. I like this planet. I might, you know what? I might get a habitable base on this planet. This planet looks like the best one so far. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. I just need either iron or platinum. I think it's iron I need.
Toxic protection falling.
I might need more iron or platinum, probably. I need more iron. Okay. Well, we don't want to piss off the little robo guy, so.
Technology
Ah, we don't have enough. We need to get a tiny bit more. But let's get our acid rain gone, and then we'll continue.
Toxic protection stabilizing. Technology recharge.
All right. See what we got going on here. An area nearby too. We're gonna go to this blue thing here. Yeah, we're definitely making this our home planet. Look at that. Plutonium everywhere. Dude, this is a great planet. I can't get over it. Like, the only real drawback is the fact that the little robo dudes are a little angry at times. Like, they're very watchful, but they're not aggressive, so I mean, as long as I'm careful, I won't piss them off. Then again, I haven't ran into the wildlife. I heard one. That's definitely not aggressive. I hope.
Units received.
Skittish? Not sure what that means. Guess he doesn't like confrontation, I suppose.
Toxic protection.
I need iron anyway, so let's go down here.
Toxic protection stabilizing.
What's going on, chat? No questions like the past 10 minutes. Crazy. Crazy, crazy. Alright, we now have enough iron to make scanner. Signal booster, rather. Alright, so let's see what we can find. We want a habitable base, and we'll search up Colonial Lab. What's your plans this evening? Of me? First let's do this. It's actually me, my buddy Nathaniel. He's probably my best friend where I live. Him and a group of people. 4 or 5 people. We're all getting together and going out to eat and stuff. So that's pretty cool. I look forward to it. Since it's Friday night, isn't it? Yeah. So since it's Friday night, we'll probably try to get people together and have some fun. But right now, we only have 4 people. But I feel like 4 people is such a solid number when hanging out. Like, I'm like, this is not too many. Everyone gets attention. You're not a third wheel at any time. It's like, yes, 4 people, perfect number. Oh, plutonium, this planet is the shit. This. And I can learn shit. This planet's the truth. I want to rename the planet Truth.
Toxic protection.
Good food and good company. Exactly. I'm hoping to recruit some new people for our D&D group. Do you guys play online or you guys play like in person? I started playing Roll20 and I had a good group, but I stopped playing with them because the DM decided not to show up a few times. You really can't play without a DM. Hey, what's up, Fruity? Yeah, it's live. We drop pod. You do it in person? Ah, I'm jealous. A few my friends play it, but like we're also kind of broke in a sense. Like you know, it's so expensive to get the damn books. All right, fuck it. I want the upgrade. Roll20 is really good. It depends on your DM. If they know what they're doing on Roll20, it's good. If they don't, it can be really bad. More often than not, it's bad, but those who can do it right, it's really nice. But in person, I usually don't use graphs or character models. We usually just remember what we're doing. So I play Marvel with a group of people a couple times a month. What is Marvel? Like, I know what Marvel, you know, I know what Marvel is, but I'm saying, like, what is Marvel in terms of a group activity?
Technology recharge.
Roll20 is great when you get a good group, but same IRL. True, I'd rather be playing on them. We have the books already, so it's cheap hobby. Oh, yeah, well, there you go. I'd rather be playing in person, too. I think most people would choose person over that, but, you know, you take what you can get.
Toxic protection. Falling.
You do a Roll20 one-shot stream? Roll20 one-shot stream, what do you mean?
Toxic protection. Stabilizing.
We have a map, but lately I've been defaulting to mapless combat anyway. That's how we do it. We have like a general map, and then we don't even really follow it because the DM usually gets a little crazy, you know? Because, you know, the DMs I like to play with are the ones that really allow creativity instead of just like, well, in the rule book it says, like, shut up, all right? But we never really use that. At times, I wish we did use a combat map, because it can get really, really confusing at times, but all in all, it's a good time. Alright, let's fill up. Heal her up.
Technology recharge.
Alright, back to the base. Hey, this planet has been kind as fuck. Oh my god, this planet literally cannot get better. Any landing pads? Oh, I guess it could get a little better if it had a landing pad. That's okay. But it sucks if it's more role-playing than more role. Oh, yeah. I agree. I've always enjoyed the DMs who allow more role-playing, exactly. In terms of, like, being creative and rewarding you for it. I remember one time I was playing with my buddies, and we were trapped in a jail cell. We were trapped in a jail cell, and my buddy goes, all right, I want to throw the sword. There was 3 guards, and they were lined up straight, and he goes, I want to throw the sword and impale all 3 of them. And the DM goes, you really want to try that? He goes, yes. And he goes, all right, roll 20s. He gets a nat 20. He's like, really? And he goes, all right, roll percentiles. And he rolls 100 on the percentiles. And he goes, I don't even know what the fuck is going on anymore. Alright, so you throw the sword, and it impales all 3 of them, and it went so good, it went through those 3 and got the guy in the next room you didn't even know about. And I just started bursting out laughing. Like, what is the odds of getting a nat 20 and then a 100 right out the rip? Oh, man, that was funny. It was funnier when you were there. It's funny when you're there. I do it no justice. They have a new survivor on Dead by Daylight. The Bill.
Stabilizing.
Oh, really? That's pretty cool. Nanite clusters. Did you ever add multiplayer to this game, or did they ever add, I haven't kept up to. So sort of, they added asynchronous multiplayer in the sense you can find people's bases and shit. You can also race and tracks that people share. But no, you still can't, like, you know, you can't like high five each other in person yet, nothing like that. But I mean, they're slowly making strides, so who knows? Yay. Yeah, all D&D stores are funny when they're there. Yeah, they are, because you're in the moment, of course, and I don't know, D&D is a good time, though. It's funny because I always wanted to play D&D, and then I couldn't because I couldn't afford the books, and then I became 18, and I got the books for, I think it was 3.5. Now I want the 5e books. That's what I use on D20. So good. You start over? Yeah. We're playing on survival mode for a little bit of a harder challenge. We haven't died yet, so I'm feeling pretty good. Especially they introduced a new killer.
Toxic protection.
I'll think about it, doll. I'll think about it. I'm so excited for what's the game called? Friday the 13th. That game is gonna be so good. I'm so excited for it. All time travel shenanigans and running into ourselves, it ended badly to say the least. You played 3.5, nice. Well, I always like 3.5, but like 5e is really, really good. And I've never played Pathfinder. That's safe. Running over there. Alright, let's go to our base. I think, yeah, we landed right there, so we don't have to use any gas to get off. Good deal. You're getting, yeah, I know. I'm so excited for Friday the 13th. Like, you have no idea. Like, it's gonna be such a good game. We have nearly all the books for 3.5 though. Yeah. I would definitely, I think I would definitely have to do 3.5. If I had all the books for 3.5 and all my friends had books and we didn't have 5e, I'd definitely stay with 3.5. We did a playtest 5e and it was not so great. Well, I don't know. Out of all the other ones, I feel it's my favorite. I feel like the biography or the stories, I forget what they're called, like the character stuff, they could have done a lot more with it. Like, I can't think of what it's called, but they could have done a lot more with it. The expansions did kind of fix it. But, I don't know, none of them were perfect. I just really like it. I prefer it now. I hope that's not aggressive. That'd be bad. Calm. Alright, so they're commas. Lol. I'm gonna call them that. Oh my god, I'm calling them commas right now. Okay. Alright. I saw a treasure over there. I'm gonna get that plutonium, get that platinum. God, this planet is the shit. And then we're gonna go get our base started. Alright, so we have 2 platinum plants right outside our base. That is nice. That is living.
Toxic protection. Falling.
5e is less number crunching. 3.5 just had something like... Yeah, I definitely hear you, Sean. Didn't like, even though I ran it for 2 years. I've never met anyone who said 4e was good. I have never met anyone who is like, yeah, I play 4e and I like it. Like, I've never actually played 4e. I wonder if my base people are like, why do you keep leaving? Fuck. I didn't like advantage and disadvantage in the playtest. Mm-hmm. Did I have platinum? Ever? I guess I had platinum something. Oh, yep, this. Okay, that was pretty easy to figure out. Production terminal. Let's actually start building upon this. I don't actually know how to make upwards building. I know someone said you could actually just go straight up. That's cool. Let's get some more iron. We're gonna start building our base a little bit. Need to find iron. Oh shit, I didn't even realize.
Technology recharge.
4e is basically a MOBA in tabletop form, which had all the bad parts of MOBAs and other good. Oh, really?
Charge depleted.
Well, Wizards of the Coast were never known for being exactly the greatest at basically anything they do. Magic the Gathering. What? Just kidding. Shots fired. Don't kill me. Don't kill me. Get some carbon.
Toxic protection. Falling.
Toxic protection.
Weapon charge depleted. Technology recharge.
Get some more carbon. Reload our gun to get some more iron. It was super tactical. Let me wait for a little more mindless mining. It was super tactical and grinding, and nothing had narrative context, which was really frustrating for me. A lot of the abilities did a mechanical thing, but you couldn't describe the action. That's weird. It's kind of weird. Just sounds like
Toxic
weird.
protection. Falling.
MTG is just a money pit. Man, my buddies, they're so into Magic the Gathering, and I'm like, listen, I'm all about TCGs. Like, I really was a big fan of Yu-Gi-Oh, and I played on my phone, but it's like, I probably dropped $10 on that game, and like, these people, like, they play tournament Magic the Gathering, they spent literally thousands of dollars on a card game, and I can't fathom it. Like, it's in my head. I get it, people like different things, but it's like Magic the Gathering, every 3 months, the last $3,000 meta deck goes bad, and it's like, stop, it's a cycle of, like, in my head, I just want to yell at them, but I don't. I'm just like, cool, man, Magic the Gathering, wow.
Technology recharge.
So no permadeath mode, weak. I haven't died yet, you know, there's that, you know, whatever. Oh yeah, I need iron. Wait, okay, got lost. But I made the decision to stick to casual play a long time ago. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if it's casual play and you spend only a few $100s and whatever, like, I get that. Like, my buddy, my one buddy who plays, he's only spent like $600 on it. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. You know, it's a hobby, cool. But when you're spending thousands every month, whenever a new expansion, no. That's crazy. Like, that's a problem. And then they're like, well, I win at tournaments, so it's okay. And I'm like, yes, the fucking 17 cents you made at that tournament. Oh, well, it's $25. I made $25. Woo! $25! You spent $3 grand. What a return on investment. Like, I'm sorry, it just drives me nuts. You know what I'm saying?
Toxic protection. Stabilizing.
Drives me nuts.
Technology recharge.
I haven't died yet, Ultimate. Hey, what's up, Ultimate? How you doing, man? Actually, I would like a square room. Do they have square rooms? No? Okay, well, fuck you too. And let's see, specialist terminal. Need more iron. Then we can get the exocraft terminal. Can I get a door? 20 iron. Wow, I'm broke as hell. Okay, because I would like a door facing actually that way. That's where I'll be using the most. Gotta go mine more iron. Oh, look at this shit. More plutonium. Planet rocks. The rovers are cool, and the interface made this valuable finally. That's what I'm saying. I really like this update altogether. This is such a good update. Like, yes. Yes and everything. I play EDH Commander and have decks that cost less than 100, but I don't play in torrents because competitive rules ruins everything, and many Magic players are asshats. Yeah. Yeah, I can, yeah. But, my friend wants me to play, I think he calls it a popper deck. I don't know what it is, because I'm from Yu-Gi-Oh! And I have fun with Yu-Gi-Oh! But like I said, I don't spend money on it at all. Like, it's just a fun thing to do. But he wants me to play MTG, and he's like, you get a popper deck for like $100, and I'm like, but I don't want to play MTG. I don't want to.
Technology recharge.
Okay, where's the door? I'm on the other side. This planet rocks. It's get it? Oh my god. You get it. You get it.
Toxic protection. Stabilizing.
Exocraft terminal. So now we need a skilled technician. That's fine. Alright. How does the foundation do? I don't remember if there was a technician at the space station. Might as well go find out. 'Cause I would like to see or get that started. Actually, we're not even that far from the space station. That's nice. That's no moon. A little close there. If you want to play Magic but don't want to spend money, just play it on Steam. Okay, so I played Magic. I don't remember which one. I think it was like 2013 or something. I gotta wait for the pirates to find me and then I'll win. I don't remember which one it was. And I played it. The problem I had was I flew through that game. Like, I legitimately flew through the entire game. And it was so boring. Like, I didn't really learn anything. It was just Magic Duel free to play. Oh, there's another one. Oh, I didn't know that. I actually didn't know that. See, I might have to check that out and tell my buddy about it. By the way, guys, we're at 34 likes and 40 viewers. I want to thank you guys for being here. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Let's try to get to 40 likes by the time I'm done looking in here. I would appreciate that. I'm gonna have to leave. See you later, geek. Have a good one, man. Thanks for being here, brother. Technician. Ow! Wow, that was one shot, one kill. And didn't even see it coming. Let's go. Now we're talking. Let's see if we can start building our... I don't know if we have to do like special missions or whatnot. And let's see if we have anything. So, like, it's just a Magic Simulator that has all the recent expansions and such. Oh, that's cool. Do you have to like earn the cards, or is it just like everything is free? Because I played like, for instance, Dual Network for Yu-Gi-Oh! You could do the same thing where it had all the cards unlocked, but then like everyone was using the meta deck and it was kind of boring. See if there's anything we can buy in here. That would be good. I don't play it, but the friends I have who, excuse me, that's pretty cool. guess we were on the buy screen to begin with. We did buy all that already. Shoot. We need the zinc for something. Let's get it.
Item received.
Did you earn the cards? Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I like when you actually have to earn your stuff. I don't like being given everything right at once. Kind of takes the fun out of it, you know what I mean? No, we didn't get the car. It's just with my computer issues right now. That's kind of more important, so I just took the stream goal off until I get my computer fixed, and then I'll probably put it back on. I know, I saw you can name your ship finally. I did name it. It's called the Shadow Streak. Yeah, see? I was like, yes! I remember the first time I streamed this game, I said, why can I not name my ship? And now I can. Alright, let's try to get up so we can get there a little quicker. Freaking my base had to be on the other side of the planet. What was the cost to repair? Sounded expensive. For my computer, so far I dropped $400. It wasn't too bad. I get my motherboard on Tuesday. And hopefully that will fix it. I don't know yet though. Yeah, I don't know yet. We'll see. Luckily, I got paid. I'm getting paid from YouTube today in 5 hours, which I have $140 from ads and sponsors coming in, so that's nice. I'll be able to use that if I need more.
Toxic protection. Stabilizing.
What up, guy? For me, schematic for the room.
Inventory full.
Inventory full. Really? My inventory's full? Yeah, it's not too bad yet. Did you get a nasty storm or something on Friday? I have no idea. I mean, I have no idea what caused it to fry. And I have a surge protector, and I don't know. All my other electronics are fine. It was just the computer. Okay. Do I have to build it in a starship? Okay, where do I build this? Alright, so I need 200 iridium, 2 voltic cells, and a dynamic resonator. I could buy a dynamic resonator from the trader. I could also buy the iridium, but the voltic cells I have to... I think I actually have to get... I have to research this guy and then get the scientist, but we need spidonium. And there's no spidonium planets here, meaning we need to... Alright, so we need to return, and we need to actually... Oh, that'll do.
Product constructed.
Oh.
Product constructed.
Yeah, okay, so all we need now is some Thamium 9, and we have...
Objective complete.
Wow, okay, so let's... Before we head out, let's make sure we have plutonium. Thamium 9, well, we can finish Trophythamium 9 resources right here. I'm gonna find some plutonium, I think. Yeah, it does suck, but I'm just glad my laptop, after clearing it all out and reinstalling Windows and stuff, it works good now. Granted, the only things on it are streaming stuff, so it's definitely helping tide it over. I should have thought of this before. I don't know why I didn't. Oh, yeah, so let's get some plutonium. I think I need it to lift off anyways.
Toxic protection. Falling.
And if we come upon iridium, I guess that too. Is that a walking distance? No, it's not. I don't know if that's iridium or what. Go see. At least you can stream. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'm glad that the laptop at least lets me stream. That's all really matters. Oh, that's copper. Or nickel. Okay.
Toxic protection. Falling.
Get this right here. Stamina 9. 4th Stamina 9. Treasure chest. Go get that treasure. Platinum over there. Alright, let's get that platinum and then get the treasure.
Toxic protection. Falling.
Gotta find cover. I don't think we're gonna find any actually, so let's just. Dude, there's no caves here.
Technology recharge. Technology recharge.
Refill you.
Technology
Just enough.
recharge.
Alright, let's head back. Hopefully we'll see some plutonium on the way back we didn't see the first time. What up, that guy? Welcome back, this guy. How you doing, man? Wow, that guy, this guy. All these guys. Already got that one.
Toxic protection. Falling.
Alright. Oh yeah. I remember that, but I don't remember if they actually find you like specific things. I can't think of the top of my head what I'm thinking of actually. Back in my days, it used to give Damien 9. And what we're doing right here is we're waiting for pirates to show up on our radar. And as soon as they do, we're going to teleport with our warp cell that we didn't make yet. That would have been bad.
Technology recharge.
Alright, now we can continue. Oh, they give Damien 9 again. So it's like a mix. Before, after the first update, it felt like it was only ever iron this motherfucker gave. Launch Duster's dead, yeah. What is this? Copper. What's up, Captain? How you doing, man? What's going on, Rubsy? How you doing, bro? Good to see you. Good morning. What are you doing this fantastic fucking Friday, Rubsy? Your mic audio feels a little low. Oh, does it? My bad. I gotta yell. Man, we haven't seen any pirates yet. Okay. I remember when I first played survival mode, I couldn't even walk 3 damn feet without a pirate. Mic volume is a tad low. Alright, give me a second. Let me turn that up. Properties. I gotta turn my gain on. Sorry, guys. Give me a second. Making it so you guys can actually hear me. Gain, and then maybe a little bit. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Is it a little better? I moved it a little bit. I didn't want to make you guys go deaf by accident, so. On planets, it's fine? Oh, okay. Well, can you guys hear me overshooting right now? Testing titties, titties, titties. I don't know. Keep an eye on that pirate radar. How much do I have a mind of this shit so far? Good amount of iron, a little Thamian 9. If we can get 100, that'd be good. That's perfect? Oh, okay. Thank you, Rubsy, and rest of crew. Yeah, man. What are you up to, Rubsy? Good? Awesome. Not too loud, not too low. That's how we like it. As I yell. I am really surprised there's been no pirates yet. We're straight up mining right now. Okay. Practically diamond quality. Amen, brother. All right, here they come. Diamond Squad. Four planets. There you go. Goodbye. Diamond quality. Chilling, eating a Pop-Tart, about to go apply for jobs. Damn. That sounds like a fucking banging ass Friday. Eating a Pop-Tart and everything. Alright, so for Vidium. Spidonium. That's what we need. Alright, sweet. Let's go to the space station. We're going straight there, because actually we need Spidonium. How about that? Might as well mine some more, fuck it. What did I miss? We mined a lot. Fixed our volume a little bit. Pirates left the game because nobody was playing. Red one looks... I know it does. The aliens. Find us, hear us. Oh, are we? Okay. Yeah, I would do that. But, like, I don't know. Kinda need plutonium. Is this the Atlas planet that I'm supposed to be on? Maybe? Where's the map? I'm the map. I'm the map. Okay, I can't check the map. Alright, cool. I think I have to actually be here, so. Interloper. Okay. I don't know, man. I feel like my current multi-tool honestly offers a lot more. I'm gonna have to go ahead and decline, honestly. Like, this isn't even a fair trade. Look at mine has an analysis visor. This one doesn't. That's all I gotta say. Like, damn right I'm fucking making the trade, bro. What the hell? Now, I do have to repair these for a lot, which is a new thing in this update. I like that. We do need this, so.
Technology installed.
But hey, we got a nice, that's, hey, fuck. I ain't mad. I went from 5 spots to 23. Let's go. If we had 190, we could get that. Well, we can get this one. Reload accelerant. That's reload speed. But we'll save up our nanites. Don't accept. I know, right? So I'm saying it wasn't even a good trade. I felt pity for him, so I traded. You know, out of pity. That's what that was. What's going on, Cody? All right, let's see what we got going on here. We do need a power reservoir, don't we? And a dynamic. Whoa, wait. Isn't this both of the? No, okay, no, I'm thinking of something else. I'm gonna buy all these. I forget what we originally came for. Shit. Does anybody remember what ingredients we need? I know we need a dynamic resonator. Okay. Two fucking iridium in there, really? Wasting space. What up, E? Yeah, does anybody remember? Because I know we need a dynamic resonator. So this is a little more expensive than normal. I can't remember what the other shit is we needed. Oh, the vault cells, that's right. We're gonna go ahead and not buy that because it seems like that's everywhere. Oh, yeah, I do need spodonium. That's true. Can I? All right. I wonder if I can use the teleporter yet. Hopefully, I can use it now. I did need iridium. That's true. Were they selling that in there? I'll double check. I did need iridium. That's true. I also needed the vault cells. Those are the two things I needed, as well as the power supply. You bought? Really, Austin? And I just got one randomly from a dude? That's awesome. I mean, for me at least. That's awesome for me. Can I please use you yet, or no? Son of a dick in my mouth, dude. Why can't I use this yet? I wonder. Okay, so experience. How much? Warp 2 times. Next milestone of 1. Maybe I need to do it one more time and then get this to level 1. Now that I think about it. Yeah, it's probably exactly what I need to do. Son of a gun. Everywhere until you need it. Amen, brother. So true. How do you get the Voltic cells? I need to get the spodonium, Captain. And then with the spodonium, I have to go back and then I have to upgrade my construction, who will then upgrade into allow me to build a science terminal. Then I build a scientist terminal. Then he sends me to go get something. And then I can build the cell after I'm done getting his stuff. It's a lot of fetching, but it's the way it is. So let's see if they have iridium here first. They did. All right, cool. We'll be on our way. It'd be cool if you could actually sell like the things like this says like my ship is 720k or whatever it's worth with, but I don't think you can actually sell it, which I think is kind of a weird thing. I have no plutonium to lift off when I get there. No, I don't. So wherever I land, I need to make sure I can find plutonium. Is that the spodonium planet to begin with? No, it's not. Oh, it is. Okay, there is spodonium there. We're gonna wait for the pirates to find us first, and then go back in here. There we go. Now Now we don't have to fight them as soon as we go in here. We don't question these things. It just works. Alright, hopefully this planet's abundant with plutonium.
Technology recharge. Technology recharge.
What up, Oscar? Hey, we had 42 likes, by the way. Thank you, guys. Thank you for being awesome. Okay. Closing in on the monolith. With your luck, it'll be a barren planet. I think that'd actually be good luck, though, because barren planets have more of the stuff. Alright, come on. Ain't nobody got time for 30 seconds of waiting. I guess we do have time for 30 seconds of waiting, huh? I guess the game showed me. Look at what kind of planet this is. I'm not seeing any plutonium. I am not seeing any plutonium at all. I believe that's iridium, which we need. That's going for us. But the lack of plutonium is disturbing. Yeah, I want to hit that up. But, you know, if I did, I wouldn't be able to leave. Alright, some people don't learn their lesson. Let's land and regret life. Wait, okay, no. We gotta find plutonium. Anything nearby? Yeah, true, Captain. Very true. What up, Eli? Sentinels are aggressive, or more worse is the wildlife. There's that plutonium. A single plutonium, guys. We got this. I am not seeing shit. You gotta be kidding me. No, I saw like one spike, but that's it. Yeah, I did see it, guys. But I need like 6 or 7 spikes to get me the next, to get me enough to get off. It's on the mountain next to the monolith? Oh, really? Okay. I see 1, 2 spikes. 2 spikes isn't enough. You know what? But it's a start. Let's land it. now I'm seeing a few spikes, actually. Maybe I did miss it. Oh, yeah. Never mind. Low security, dehydrated, numerous, and rare. Okay. Holy shit on my mouth. Look at my dang thing go down. Whoa. It might be best for us to wait for this storm to pass. Because that storm just tore us up.
Units received.
Yeah, they were big spikes. My bad. I didn't even see the rest of them.
Units
I spelled captain wrong. Whoops. Wow. This store is something. I wish I had the ability to make a shield against it, but I don't yet. Very unfortunate. Well, while that's doing its thing, see if we can't at least make an upgrade for our multi. What is this? Combat magnifier. Which just adds damage. Okay, cool. Why is everything in your mouth? LOL. What do you mean? Yeah, it is. This is a really bad planning. I'm glad we had plutonium here. Otherwise, it'd have been a very, very bad time. Man, we really gotta wait for the storm to pass. We're still at 1 health, so.
technology recharge. Technology recharge.
Just take a photo. Can I actually just use this to scout the area? Is that cheating? Ha! That's cheating, I feel like. But whatever, I'm using it. This is a genius idea. Okay. Alright, cool. Oh, I want to use my cheat mode still. Okay. We're totally using this. It's still not fair, but I like it. I could use that to hide, I think. Anything in here? Man, I don't see anything directly near us. Yeah, so the next big thing is just going down. Might as well take a picture with it while we're here. Hold on, I gotta get like all photographer with this shit. Okay, we're gonna take the best picture ever. Kinda cool. It's like a recon drone sort of thing. I know, right? This is really cool. That's a little excessive. I kind of like this one. Really similar to the one we have, but. I actually don't know what this means, so we're just gonna leave that. No filter, no man's. I know, right? No filter. Okay. So we definitely have a filter. Oh god. That was a bad idea. Oh! I clicked the wrong button. All that beautifulness and I fucked it up. Oh, okay, you can actually control where the sun is. That's neat. No, that's realistic in my opinion. No, see. Okay. Damn, man. The first angle we had was much better. I ruined everything, damn it. I ruined everything. I want that planet in there. Whatever, we'll take this one. It's not the same. Alright, let's share it. We're sharing the screenshot right now. That's what we're gonna do. The whole world is about to know what just happened. Let's put... Damn, we look good. We'll tag No Man's Sky, even though they literally are not there anymore, it feels like. And bam. Love it. Alright, I mean, that's pretty cool. A little bit of a waste of time, but you know, whatever. Random features that I dig.
Thermal protection falling.
This might have been a bad idea.
Technology recharge. Thermal protection falling.
Shit, that's too far. Shit, we're too far. We gotta go back. I forgot to put the shielding shards in my inventory. This shit is killing me. Literally.
Thermal protection falling.
Horrible time to do this, but I don't care. Crazy.
Thermal protection offline. Technology
When is this storm gonna F off? First shot was better. Why, Ultimate? Why you gotta make me feel so bad, man? Don't be that guy.
Storm
Okay, storm's clearing. Thank goodness. Should have just waited it out. Hmm. You know what I should do? I feel like at the end of every stream for No Man's Sky, I should take a photo like that and then use it like put it on Twitter and then take it and then use it as a thumbnail for the next stream. I think that'd be really cool. So that way with the progress of what we do, we can use the screenshot as the thumbnail. I don't know. I think that's cool. Yeah, I think you're saying. We need to. Well, I need to make sure. The storm is gone now, though I do want to play it safe. I'm gonna put all 3 of these in my inventory. And I'm getting a little bored just sitting in my ship, so we're gonna go ahead refuel with this.
technology recharge. Temperature levels stabilizing.
All right, much better. Now it's cold? What? How did it go from hot to cold? This planet hates itself. Yeah, I think it would be too. I think I'll do that. It sounds like it'd be kind of cool. Make every thumbnail a little unique and stuff. Oh shit! Okay. I gotta be super careful. If I fall one more time, I die.
Thermal protection fully.
That was so bad. I need health so bad.
Temperature levels stabilizing.
Wait, what? When you're sitting on a monolith... Wow, I didn't know that. I believe in the Atlas's promise. I see lines of code, strings of numbers, and a bizarre structure. I feel sure conviction that great power awaits me if I travel to the distant place. The red orb disappears, and I something, something, something. Oh, they gave me a warp cell. Aw, you the real MVP. You the real MVP. You, the real MVP. All right. Yeah, this planet's crazy. I need to get more Spidonium while we're here, though. Euthamium 9 over there. I just have to be really careful. I don't fall off the edge or some crazy shit. It'd be a horrible way to go. Damn, No Man's Sky got so good. Like, who allowed them to get good? Not allowed. I'm supposed to hate that game. Where's my ship? Oh. You tell that mysterious obelisk. I know. I know. He ain't come around here no more, I'll tell you that. After what I told him. Oh, wow. The temperature is actually so nice that I don't need to worry about it? Holy shit. Okay, maybe we'll spend a little more time on this planet until the next storm comes and destroys us. I come in peace, sort of.
Units received.
Let's see here. Euthamium 9. I'm daring, ain't I? In a year or two, this will be the best game of the universe. I'm telling you, man, if they keep doing updates like they are, I mean, the game's starting to shape out really well. It's a shame they didn't give it another year and actually finish it with this stuff. I mean, this would have been great. Hawaii's -30.
Life support
That would suck.
low.
That would really suck. I can't do cold, man. I don't know how I lived in the north my whole life. Moving to the south has taught me one thing. Much rather be hot than cold. But then people are like, you can only take off so many clothes before it's illegal. And I'm like, yeah. But like, it's cold. Being cold is miserable.
Technology recharge.
This planet is awesome. I mean, I hated this planet at first, but now it's alright. Let's find a little more Spidonium. I think we're gonna need it anyways. I might as well stock up on that shit. I thought that was stamina 9. It was not. I was misled. Stamina 9 over there. I saw a giant spike of plutonium. Some platinum over there. Let's go get that plutonium. Weirdly enough, that plutonium wasn't marked on the map. I don't mind the cold, but we get all the seasons here. Oh, really? Yeah, our winter was about a week long, and I think it dropped down to like 45. It was pretty cold. But it's so weird because like when I lived in like Pennsylvania, and it was just like so fucking cold all the time. Like it got to 90 something the other day here, and I'm thinking in my head like this was literally the hottest day of summer when I lived up there. Yeah, definitely say that's what I'm saying. If they add multiplayer like that, and if there was tribal, I didn't even think about it. That'd be really cool if there was like tribes and stuff. That'd be so cool. Uh-oh. Thanks for the warning, like literally as it's here. Oh my god, I almost died. If I would have gotten hit by that, I would have died. Best warning of all time ever. Oh, really? Michigan's a nice place. Winter's been weird. I think winter's been weird all over the place. We must ascend to the stars. It's a nice place, though. I think we'll do the same thing we did last time, where we just mined until pirates came. That way we can stock up on iron and stamina 9. And as soon as I see the pirates coming, we're gonna head out. It's a whole new world. But yeah, with the land roving thing and all that stuff, it looks like they're definitely making moves, so making plays. Oh yeah, give me it all. All right, pirates are coming, and we out. Okay. Oh wow, the path to Atlas is not a short one. And I assume that'd be, yeah. Okay, so here we go. I'm hoping this will allow me to use the teleporter now, because my theory is that once we hit 3, we get the milestone, and I think that's when we become an experienced traveler, and we can start using the teleporter to our home world, which would make life, excuse me, a lot easier. So if it's not, that sucks. Alright, now that we're trailblazing, let's go see. Claim home planet. I've already done that. I already have a home planet. I don't want a new one. Big earbud hurts my ears sometimes, man. Alright, well, let's go see what we can do in here first, and I'm hoping there's a healing station in here. I really need to heal. What up, Goltron? Poop. Almost fell. Well, I did fall, but you know what I mean. See. Small creature is adding up profits. Okay. Yay, pity farm. Or not pity farm, but pity giving me stuff. Yes. Geknip. I have that apparently. What do I get? I don't do things for free. That's it? Well. What up, Lorenzo? How you doing, man? Oh, that sucks, Galtron. A starship inventory. We still need Iridium. I forgot all about Iridium. That's what we should have been getting. What does the star mean? I don't know what the star means, but... Oh, I guess it means it's stupidly expensive then. Well, I bought something stupidly expensive. How about it? And we'll buy that plutonium. Alright. Let's go check if we can use the teleporter finally. Heck. Playing a lot of League lately. Very nice, very nice. We met 10 aliens, guys. We're pretty much well versed in the alien world, I'm just saying. Alright, before we either have major success or cry ourselves to sleep, let's go ahead and take this. Alright. Bon voyage, I hope. Please. Yes! Wait, what is the name of this place? I don't know if they changed it. Before you couldn't remember what these names were called, but let's see if it does now. So we're gonna name this place pretty original. So y'all know that. Wait, wasn't this the last place we were at? Okay, there we go. We can go take our Spidonium to our home planet. Alright, so the teleporter makes life a lot easier. It's the best day ever. If you guys are doing this, remember to hit that like button. We're at 47. Let's try to get to 50. We have 40 people here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you. I love your faces. I think everybody's mousing me off.
Toxic protection. Stabilizing.
The Maba star system. There you go. Yeah, pretty much, Lorenzo. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah, no, you hit it on the head. Yeah, I hope it all works out too, Galtron. Oh man, Galtron. Coordinates received. What do I need to do? I need to just go there. Okay, yeah, I do. But first, let's make a straight corridor. Oh. You know, I should have probably made one up top, but I don't have... Ah, screw it. I don't have the necessary things for that, so... Science terminal needs 50 iron. We have that. Now we need a scientist. Let's go see, before we continue on, let's go see if that place had a scientist. Right? Teleporter. There you are. Alright, see you later, Lid. Have a good one. Return to our station. Man, when literary leaves, the whole world isn't worth it anymore. Sorry, my squad's messaging me. I thought we were meeting up at like 6, but now they want my attention now? Like, come on, man. We'll see what time. They kind of want to keep playing. I don't really want to go hang out with friends yet. Third thing I've ever said. Bye, bye, bye. Aw, man, we're at 48 likes. I thought we could hit 50, but we couldn't. I'm sad now. Matt Damon. Alright, do we have a scientist in here? Recruit builder, talk. Recruit farmer. Recruit tech. Well, let's go back to our home planet then and work on that mission. We couldn't find a scientist, but that's okay. But we do want to go back and teleport. And then, like I said, work on that mission. Oh my god, you're ridiculous, Mama's Blue. Matt Damon. Vroom vroom. Teleporting is OP! Can you die in this game? Yes. Oh, yes, you can. I'm just legit as hell and haven't yet. No, I'm a little conceited once in a while, whatever. Just like lean over my microphone and stuff.
Stabilizing.
Stabilizing. Really? Oh, no, sorry. I'm doing something wrong. I don't know. Yeah, there's even a permadeath option if you're a little crazy. You know, a little something crazy. Alright, so now we have 50 likes. Hey, alright, so what we're gonna do now. First we need to find a little plutonium to lift off. It doesn't look like we have any directly near us. Do we have any? No, we don't. Yes, we need to find plutonium, and then we're gonna have to go and re-accept his mission. Yeah, we have to re-accept this mission because it's not there anymore. But we have to go inspect that place.
Toxic protection. Stabilizing.
I will investigate. Actually, how long have we been streaming? 3 hours? Yeah, Star Fox ship. Yeah, I think I will probably end it soon. Take the photo. Okay, I feel like I want to go back to default. There we go. Stock photo, I like that. Yeah. There's like no way to make a good fit photo with it. Oh shit, I didn't know you could tilt it. Well, then that's something. It's like such a bad spot, right? Like, come on now. Nah, you know what? We'll keep playing. I don't want to leave yet. Friends telling me no.
Toxic protection. Stabilizing.
Yeah, we do have to find. That is the thing we need to do.
Technology recharge.
Pew pew. Already get this? Must have. Oh, I missed this though. Tonium. Any more? Just that one? Fine. Learning a lot of Viking words. That's nice.
Toxic protection. Falling.
Alright, there we go. Yeah, we got a gun. That's right. Sometimes you gotta have a gun. You never know. You look mean. Are you mean?
Units received.
Anxious. Okay. You look like a carnivore, but you're a vegan. I don't get it.
Toxic protection. Falling.
Suppose it's almost time to head back. It's somewhat of a scenic route here. There we go.
Toxic protection. Falling. Toxic
Huh.
protection. Stabilizing.
That's one way to get out of the rain. See if there's anything in this cave, actually. I don't think we've explored the caves on this planet yet. That's the land before time, lizard. I can see it.
Technology recharge. Life support power. No.
Come on, you're killing my damn life support. Okay, my life support literally just drained all the way. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Technology recharge.
I have no idea what that's about, but okay. I really wish I had the grenade upgrade. Come on. Are you serious? Okay. We can't go out that way. Game's glitched there. Son of a bitch. Lost so much of everything in that. Oh, shit. How am I getting out of this? Oh, boy. Can I even get out of this? I have to reload a save. It'd be so much easier if I had grenades. Because if I had grenades, I could just literally make a wall, but can't just mine like that. No, it doesn't. Dig a path? You can't. That's the problem. Is without the grenade, you cannot dig a path.
Technology recharge.
Woo! Okay. That was much scarier than it had to be. Alright, so we somehow made it out of there. Kind of impressed. Sometimes you just gotta get on a rock. Yeah, but that... We did get out, but I feel like that's a solid reminder that we may or may not need to be getting a grenade update at some point. Wherever that may be. Platinum. Oh, but that was right over the hill. I was misled.
Toxic protection falling.
Cover here. I saw the plutonium, but I'm just trying to get cover.
Stabilizing.
Far, a little far. Whatever. Got all that poo. Move, rocks. Always staying in the way. Those odd texture combinations right there.
Life support power low. Technology recharge.
I would just refill this like this.
Technology recharge.
Yeah. Kind of reminds me of Minecraft, just about the blocks. It's more fun and you actually have to think. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun, man. And it's sort of like that, yeah. My goodness, how freaking far did I go? I don't think I can do that. I think I need advanced lasers for that. I think it's titanium. Yep. Yeah, me too. I love sandbox games. Or adventure games, or just, you know, like. Well, I found the plutonium I was looking for. And some. Oh my goodness, I've been going the wrong way. Fudge. Y'all didn't tell me. Oh, no wonder. Shit. I was like, how far did I go? I didn't think I went that far. Oh crap. That happened. Oh. Wait, I could do that? Save jetpack by doing it. Never thought about that. I could just, instead of holding it in, just use it a little bit at a time. Oh. Nice. Just chocolate rain at the bottom left. Yeah, that's what I named the planet. Chocolate rain. It's interesting, it didn't mark the platinum.
Toxic protection falling. Inventory full.
That's great. Oh. Go underneath here.
Toxic protection stabilizing.
This looks like it might be a decent spot for a picture. I should have probably kept the plutonium there for the picture, now I think about it. Then again, who knows? See, now I think about it, it's actually a horrible spot for a picture. It's too boring. It's too boring. Alright, there we go. Take one of these.
Constructed. Technology recharge.
Okay. Now we just gotta make it back, and we're nice and close for one. There, now we can take a silly picture of our little home. We gotta make it look like this planet's loaded when it's not. It's all about angles. All about angles. See, now how do I zoom in? I think I can. Just like cover up all the bad stuff. Like, yeah, there we go. It's perfect. I can really take this photo mode far, huh? That's cool. Make a nice and simple one. Like this. Photo mode equals cheat mode. It is. Well, I gotta make it look good. Vibrant. Yeah, vibrant probably would work well. Oh, I keep doing that. Why is that button there? Whatever.
Toxic protection. Falling.
Ow. Sucked if I would have died.
Toxic protection. Stabilizing.
Yeah, let's do one in here, and that's what our next thumbnail will be. Hey, look at it. We got a thumbnail. We'll share it with Twitter. Obviously, why wouldn't we? While I do, I'll put a nice little video up for you guys. All right, and that's that. So we're gonna end it here. And I'm gonna make a save point outside, and then that's where we'll end it. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'll probably play this. I'm not sure when the next time. Pretty soon, obviously, because I am really enjoying this. I want to try to do it with at least within the next like 3 days or so. Kind of make this one of my main game rotations because I'm really enjoying the new patch. It really made the game a lot more fun for me. So we'll be playing more of this. When we get back, we'll be working on trying to get more for the base, stuff like that. I really want to get the land roving thingy. I want to get that done, so we'll be working on that for sure. And can I put the save point in here? No.
Stabilizing.
All right, there we go.
Toxic protection. Stabilizing.
And we made a nice little save point. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys on the next one. I don't have a closing screen. I don't. So it's gonna abruptly end.